Moving on, question that's coming on Twitter. Krishna Raj tweets in, wants to know if he says that he took a loan for 2 homes. Now, he claimed tax deductions on his first home under Section 24, which is self-occupied. Now, he currently wants to put the first home on rent and occupy the second home. Can he claim tax deduction on the second home now?
Okay, so you know what, in these kind of situations, this is quite common. A lot of us have more than one properties. Now you have to clearly decide what you are going to do. If you are actually going to get rent from a particular property, then naturally that becomes income from house property. And to that extent, whether now you were living there, you are going to move somewhere else, whatever is the situation, as long as you are getting rent on a particular property, which you've put on, on lease rent, obviously, income from house property accrues, and the corresponding benefit is that the entire interest you can deduct and offset that from your other income. That's very clear. The house in which you are living yourself, which you are going to call as your self-occupied property, in that house you will get your deduction as per Section 80C for principal payments of 1.5 lakh and under Section 24 for payment of your interest up to the extent of 2 lakhs. And now if you have more than one holder in this kind of a housing arrangement, then of course your spouse also will be entitled to a similar benefit of a similar amount. So it's very, very clear. If your first house is on rent, then that becomes your let out property. And the house in which you're going to stay is your self-occupied
property. Kartik, essentially what you're saying is, if I've decided that the first house, home 1 for that matter, is to be leased out and home 2 is self-occupied, then it stays that way for the entire duration of the loan. I cannot change it midway?
Well, you can change it midway. Prima facie, the answer is yes, it remains that, right? You can change midway, provided, however, that house is actually not let out. And then it comes under a situation which is known as deemed let out. So I've got 2 houses. One is vacant and in one which I'm living. So the one, now I have the choice of making one of those houses as my SOP and one of the houses as my deemed let out. So in a deemed let out scenario, whatever is the notional market value of the rent, I have to budget that as an income, though I have actually not earned it. But against that, I can offset all the interest which I am paying as a part of my home loan.
So I think that is essentially what Krishna Raj is trying to ask over here. So he doesn't need to show any paperwork for that.
No, I am guessing that if he's actually going to earn rent by giving it out to a third party, then there will definitely be a lease agreement. If he chooses not to do a lease agreement and does a notarized agreement, that is a matter of personal choice. Or if he just wants to give it on an oral agreement that, you can stay. But in any case, if there is any amount of money which is going to come into his bank account, he will have to account for it and also offer it to tax and, in his income tax return, etc.
So you will need to keep those documents in place. You will need to keep those documents. But yes, to answer your question, you can midway through the life of the home loan, you can actually change the purpose of the home that you bought. You can actually say that the first home is now what I will give on rent and I'm moving into the second home. That is possible from a tax perspective as well.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.